Blizzard could learn some really valuable lessons from the Old School Runescape team while they're developing Classic Plus. What's going on, guys? It's Buttadog here, and today in this video we're going to be discussing why RuneScape has done it right, how Classic World of Warcraft could learn from it, and eventually how the implementation could look for Classic Plus. I recorded most of this video before BlizzCon this year, so this video is taking the Classic Plus concept in its evergreen form. Season of Discovery is a great testing ground, and I do believe it's the first steps to our Classic Plus, but this is more so in line with permanent servers, things that are evergreen to the game with final changes and ongoing development. So let's get into this. To kick things off, let's start off with Old School RuneScape's content cadence. If you've tried any of Old School RuneScape's new content, it's actually, one, pretty good, and two, feels like it's supposed to be there. From the quests, raids, new items, game modes, and everything else, it actually feels like it was supposed to be there in the first place and doesn't take away from the original integrity of the game. Now, if you hop into any comments section on YouTube that's discussing a variant of Classic Plus, this is immediately a topic that comes up. People truly believe that modern day developers can't iterate on old versions and remaster it in a way that doesn't take away from the integrity of the original game. And Jagex is a prime case study of how to do it. Now, is that to say every piece of content that Jagex has pushed out for Old School RuneScape is perfect? No, absolutely not. But I can say, as someone that rarely plays Old School RuneScape, when I see a new season roll around, a new raid come out, a new skill come out, I'm immediately invested to dive back into the game. And for players unlike me that consistently play Old School RuneScape, these new features keep them there. It keeps them invested into that version of the game, which we've even seen Old School RuneScape be far more successful than RuneScape 3, which is a very common parallel to what I see in Retail WoW and Classic WoW. The next point I want to bring up is something that is so simple but effective. Old School RuneScape's polls are a simple yet unbelievably effective tool to get the community involved with the decision making of the developers. Now, if you're unfamiliar with their community polls, what they'll do is, for a subject, let's say a new skill, Jagex will come out with a community poll that outlines a specific number of skills they're looking to add to the game and put it out there with information on each and get players to vote on those specific skills that they want to see in the game now. After players have voted on it, they'll go into the refinement stage. Well, they'll get into the nitty-gritty of what makes this skill a skill and get close to a design blog that's public to all players. From there, they'll lock in the skill and present the design to the community and see if it will pass along. After the design doc is put out to players, they'll vote on it even further to make sure that players are going to enjoy this new content piece by having them voting on specific nuances of that skill, content piece, or whatever it may be. And then after that, it'll go straight into beta, where players will give real-time feedback before the skill or feature goes live in the main game. This 5-step template is effective but simple and could literally be copy and pasted for a Classic Plus version of the game. Imagine this. Blizzard says, hey, we want to release a new raid. They give 3 different variants of the raid at a high level that players can vote on. Once they vote on it, Blizzard puts out a design document that's public to all players so they can see exactly what's going on in the raid. From there, they lock in the raid, push it out to beta, and then get real-time feedback from players and release it months after. Again, this is a really simple but effective way to make sure that the integrity of the game and what players love the game for isn't ruined, and ultimately gives the community the lever to pull of what we can expect to see in Classic Plus. And this also doesn't mean the other ideas that were in that suggestion are bad ideas, and players could still really want them, which gives Blizzard the test subject and data in the future to actually release the other suggestions that they have based upon the same exact process. And finally, my last point is something we've kind of discussed throughout the entire video, but it's making sure they add changes but don't change the game itself. We've all heard it from the community. We don't want Classic World of Warcraft to change into Retail WoW, which is people's main concern about a Classic Plus variant of the game. So let's look at how Jagex has done it successfully. They've added new items, skills, raids, and utilizing the community poll to make sure the integrity of the game is never messed up. They bring players into the feedback loop and ensure that they are the ultimate decision makers when discussing these content pieces. And from all of my buddies that play Old School RuneScape, they love this. This is one of the main reasons that keeps them playing Old School RuneScape, because the content never feels dull, and it's ultimately something that they can expect Jagex to leverage while giving them the decision-making power for a new content piece. So overall, Jagex and Old School RuneScape should be utilized as almost a blueprint for what Blizzard can look at when developing Classic Plus. There are so many parallels to what Jagex is doing and what Blizzard could do to successfully release a remastered version of Classic WoW. So at this point, I want to turn it over to all of you. Do you think using the blueprint of Old School RuneScape is a good idea? Or if it isn't, let me know why. As always, thank you guys so much again for checking out the video today. Make sure, if you want to see content like this, to follow Buttadog across all socials, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.